You can talk today for the Battle of Badr.
Okay, inshallah.
Yeah, and that's it. And then we make a dua then.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Nazreen, I'm sorry I'm late today because there was a traffic and I was not prepared for this delay. But anyway, Maulana Safi Haider is on the line, and I will ask him with the recitation of Holy Quran, short surah, and then he will come to the point of the subject today, and inshallah we'll benefit from his lecture. Okay, the Maulana, just start the program with your recitation of Holy Quran, small surah, and then go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وصلى اللهم على آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين. قال الله الحكيم في القرآن الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ادعوني أستجب لكم. I was told today to talk about a little bit of the Battle of Badr, so inshallah ta'ala I will conjoin my discussion with the Battle of Badr. And I would like to begin by saying that all praise belongs to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and may his choicest blessings be upon Muhammad, the choicest of creations, and his pure and infallible progeny. When we talk about the issue of dua, we have to understand that dua is a form of a spiritual revolution, a spiritual struggle. And the month of Ramadan is the best month for this spiritual struggle. Because as I mentioned before, we have Mafatih al-Janan is filled with du'as that we should recite for this month. Makalim al-Akhlaq, Jawshan al-Kabir, and all the other du'as.
Right.
And we have the idea of the physical struggle, which is also jihad. Many scholars, when they mention the idea of jihad, they mention the hadith which says that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was coming back with his companions from jihad, and he mentioned the hadith which says, blessed are those who have performed the minor jihad, but even more blessed are those who have to perform the major jihad. Now, the companions just came back from battle. So they asked Rasulullah, they knew what the minor jihad was, this physical fighting. But then they say to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, what is the bigger jihad? To which Rasulullah responds by saying, Jihadun nafs.
Nafs, yes.
It is the bigger jihad. And in this month of Ramadan, we have an occasion where we can talk about both the lesser jihad and the bigger jihad. You see, the Prophet of Islam was a messenger of peace. But he was countered situations where people had aggressed. There were aggressors against him. He never started a fight. The whole idea that Islam spread by the tip of the sword or by the end of the banduk or the rifle is a whole fallacy, because religion cannot be spread through force. Religion requires love, respect, and tolerance, and humanity. But there are times when those who are aggressing against you, you need to protect yourself against them. And the first instance in which the Prophet of Islam, they fought against the kuffar of the Arab, was the Battle of Badr. Now imagine, for instance, if you have an army, thousands strong, and you have an enemy with, God knows, maybe 313, let's say, and that was the number of the Muslims in the Battle of Badr. Ironically, this is the exact number of governors of the Hukumat of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, 313. But now, imagine then that you have to fight the army and you only have 313, maybe a few people on the backs of the donkey, and then a few people on the back of horses, maybe one or two, or maybe not even that. You are ill-equipped, you are unprepared, you are unable to fight. What do you think? Most of the people, they will not fight. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he gathered the believers, and one of them was Amir al-Mu'mineen, another was Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada Hamza, and they had ill-equipped so much so that even though in Islam he had to pass a temporary ruling that eating the meat of the donkey had become haram on the followers for that time, so they had enough to actually fight. But now we have the situation where Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada is fighting, Imam Ali is fighting, the sons of Abu Talib are fighting, and they are victorious. They are successful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet, he makes a dua. And I would like to connect for maybe a few minutes with dua al-iftitah, if we can, for the remaining 3 or 4 minutes that I have. That he makes a dua basically saying that if this force is annihilated, Allah, the whole of Islam will be destroyed. The whole of Islam will be destroyed, and Allah grants the victory towards the mu'mineen and the believers, and he grants them such a big victory that Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada kills Abu Jahl, and Amir al-Mu'mineen fights and he is victorious, and the sons of Abu Talib fight and they're victorious. There is a big difference though between and I want to make this comparison as well, between this fight and what happened in 61 AH in Karbala. In this fight, the Banu Hashim were to go first. That was because it was hardest to go first. In Karbala, it was hardest to go last. Therefore, Banu Hashim went last. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we talk about this bigger jihad, jihadun nafs, we have to mention the idea that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He has purified our souls so much in the month of Ramadan that it is ready to accept the blessings of the dua of iftitah. In dua iftitah, we read, and I quote, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Allahumma inni aftatihu al-thana'a bihamdik. Oh Allah, this is our dua for every night. I begin this dua with the song of your praise. Just think about that for a moment. And let us just focus on that. And inshallah, in the remaining nights, we will focus on dua iftatah. Think about this moment. Allahumma, oh Allah, inni aftatihu thana'a bihamdik. I begin with the song of your praise. Thana'a bihamdik. Now, when we talk about this specific dua, we have the idea that we begin with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We begin with the hamd and the sana of Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Does Allah need our praise? Some people might say, what self-fulfilled, what pompous Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is saying that this dua, aftatihu thana'a bihamdik. Why? Because when we say self-praise, we think pomp and glamour and all the negatives that are associated with it. But Allah, He is all-powerful. It is not that He needs our praise. No, we need His praise for us.
Subhanallah.
And let us think about that for a moment as we go on to Laylatul Qadr, which is the next night, inshallah. And we will continue the discussion on dua iftatah for the remaining couple of nights. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.
Jazakallah. I'm sorry that we have shortened speech today because of the late start. Inshallah, tomorrow program is going to be dedicated for the Shahadat of Amir al-Mu'minin of Islam. I have the reciter from the Toronto. Inshallah, he will be giving the benefit of his recitation, and Maulana the Safiyadar speech on the Shab-e Zarbat, and then we are going to break for 5 minutes and then continue in Urdu program, which also continuation of Shab-e Zarbat. We will talk about the Shab-e Zarbat, what is mean to us, and what is the importance to commemorate these nights. And inshallah, next of the 4 nights, we will continue that one. And with this, I will ask your permission to say goodbye to this segment. And inshallah, next program within a few minutes will be on the same site, Watan Se Dur Hum Watanon Ke Saath, the Guftugu, the talk with Maulana Sayyid Ali Haidar Abdi. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In 2 seconds, I'll be joining the another episode. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.